Other than sliced turkey, how many times a year do you cook and eat a whole turkey? My guess, 1, Thanksgiving. And if you're watching this, most likely it's sometime around November or Thanksgiving. And you're in luck because I'm gonna tell you exactly how to make the best turkey possible. The real question for me is why we don't eat turkey more often. It's because so many of us cook it wrong. It just is. And like any other meat, it starts with what you purchase. Why I buy Butterball? Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's because the word butter's in the name or just because it's what I've bought over the years. I've always had good luck with a good Butterball turkey. Is Butterball the one to buy for quality? I don't know. You know, tell us down in the comments what you think as far as the best brand turkey. There's a 99.9% chance that your turkey is going to be frozen when you buy it. It starts there. Most people let their turkey thaw out for 2, 3, 4 days. It's not enough time. Even if it's a small bird, a week. A week is what I say is minimum. And that's to make sure that it is evenly thawed in the refrigerator. Don't try to rush it. If you want the perfect turkey, you got to do the perfect method. Step 2, brine. For a good brine, you want to start with a container that's just barely as big as the turkey. You don't want a container that's too big because then you're going to have to use a lot of water. It's going to throw your ratios off. So just barely bigger than a turkey. I've got a gallon of water in here, and then I'm going to go in with a cup of sugar, white sugar, and 1 cup of salt. Here's a product that will definitely help put your bird over the top. I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of Cosmos chicken injection. And it's just a mixture of some different spices and salts. I've seen brine methods that use oranges and onions and all kinds of stuff. We don't need all that. You're not getting as much bang for your buck there. But right now we're just trying to get some salt and moisture into this bird. You're going to need to stir this really well. You can heat the water if you're in a hurry, but then you're going to have to cool it back down. So, you know, I'm just a fan of room temperature water. And just stir it really well. Get it nice and blended up. You don't want salt and stuff on the bottom. You want it in the bird. After you get your innards out, with the spine up, place the breast of the bird down. Make sure it's fully submerged. If for some reason your bird's floating, you can put like a little saucer or some type of weight on top. This is the other thing about the container. You need to be able to fit this in your refrigerator. If you don't have space in the refrigerator, you can put it in a cooler with ice. Make sure that it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit or less. A minimum of 2 days. If you can do 3, I'd recommend 3. 2 days later, and it's time for the next step. Now, when you pick your bird up, be real careful to make sure all the water goes out the cavity. Pick it up by the neck side. Trust me. Put him down into a pan, breast side up. For the longest time, I always tried to get the biggest bird I could afford. If I saw an 18-pound bird or a 20-pound bird, if I could afford it, I was going to get it. The size of the bird can affect the flavor, the texture, the whole overall experience. I don't have any science behind it, but I think if you ask a lot of people that cook multiple turkeys a year, we're gonna probably kind of come together somewhere between 12 and 14 pounds is about as big as you wanna buy. My suggestion is you do 2 turkeys. That's what I like to do. I do multiple turkeys. It's a little bit more work, I'm not gonna lie to you. And you need to be focused on all the details of each one. But that's how you get the best turkey. And if you're only eating it a couple times per year, go all out and make it the best. The next step's right here, some type of needle tenderizer. So with a needle tenderizer, I'm really just concentrating on the breast here. It's designed to put little punctures in there, and that's gonna serve multiple purposes on a turkey like this. There's, turkey skin can be very chewy if you let it. And one of the ways to combat that is just like this, is all those little punctures are gonna help literally tenderize the meat. Whatever you do, don't leave this step out. Maybe you want to make your own at home, even better. So some of you guys may be wondering why we use the bacon grease. And the bacon grease is going to help get this skin so that it's bite through. It's going to add a little flavor, but it's going to help make sure we get a good bind from our rub. Next step, 3 sticks of melted butter and a 1/3 cup of Cosmos chicken injection. Don't get scared off by an ejector. They're really not that expensive, and they last quite a while. You can also get real small, almost disposable style. You cannot get enough butter in here. We have it in a pan, so that way anything that, you know, any extra is going to go down in the pan, and the bird's just going to cook with it. See it swelling up? Watch. The butter is starting to kind of like gel up a little bit as I'm working with it. Now, that can be great so that it stays in the meat a little easier, but it can also be bad because it can clog up my needle. The little bit that I have left over that the needle won't get to because the holes, I'm just going to put that into the pan. This stuff is amazing. In fact, everything they put out has been amazing. I think they have like 4 main staples, main flavors, and all 4 have been just amazing. Can't get enough of it on here. Down in the cavity, up on the sides, just layers of flavor. Even if you're not gonna eat that piece, you know, still get some rub on there. I'm using the RT680, putting the bird right on the middle. If you had some other stuff you could do, sides on each side, but I would make sure the bird goes right on the middle because that's where the temperatures are gonna be the most predictable and perfect. I keep saying I'm gonna get rid of this thing, but here it is. It's not necessarily crunchy skin we want on a turkey, it's bite through. So we're gonna start low so we can start that rendering process nice and gently. So why the pellet smoker? Well, the pellet smoker is a middle of the road kind of thing when it comes to smoking a turkey. Some people don't like any smoked turkey. Some people, like me, like a really heavy smoke on their turkey, sometimes even a bitter style smoke. I like mine dark. You know, it's that smoky flavor. I absolutely love it, especially on turkey. However, when you're cooking a bird this big, it's not just for you, it's for everyone else. And so the pellet smoker is a perfect middle of the road, easy cook.
There's a lot of times when you don't want to open the grill any more than you absolutely have to. However, this is not one of those. This is a basting cook. We're gonna constantly baste this turkey with all of that wonderful butter and juice in the bottom of the pan. 2 sticks of butter, and then just barely cover the bottom of the pan with some chicken broth, and then make sure you set an alarm for every 45 minutes and baste this turkey like you have never basted anything before. Be very careful not to wash your rub off. However, what rub you do wash off will most likely be reapplied when you baste. And that's the secret. Even seasoning and that butter create a flavor that is out of this world, but even more importantly, a skin that is completely bite through. You're gonna wanna raise the temperature to your pit every time you baste. You're gonna progressively do this until you get the pit temperature running at about 325 degrees. When you get an internal temperature that's approaching 150 degrees, it's time to go ahead and do one final baste and then very tightly cover the entire turkey, pan, and everything with a piece of tight-fitting foil. Raise your temperature to 350, and now we're gonna take this thing to the finish line.
We brined our bird for 2 days. We tenderized it with our jacquard needle tenderizer. We put bacon grease and all our flavors on the skin. Then we basted it with our butter and spices the whole time, every 45 minutes or so. Cooked to 4 hours, took it up to a final temperature, and some of you are gonna cringe, 170. But if you do it like this, you're not going to dry out your breast. And that's why you wouldn't want to go above 160, 165 normally. It's because you wouldn't want to dry out your breast. But the dark meat is best when it's up to about 180. And so you want to get that breast up as high as you can get it without drying it out. And if you use this method and these ingredients, you can get it up to 170, which is going to make for the absolute best overall bite. I haven't seen this thing in hours. It's been resting for 2.5 hours. Oh man, it smells amazing. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to check the temperature in the breast to see how much temperature it's lost. 170 is what we went up to, and we are currently at 148. So we're entering the danger zone, which means this is the perfect time to slice, eat, and then refrigerate what we don't eat. And there you go, a whole bird. Now, for the tasting, you know, one of the most underrated parts of the turkey, if you like wings, it's got to be a turkey wing. I mean, it's enormous. Let's see how it tastes. I can tell you it fell right off the bird. Bite through skin. Oh my gosh. The saltiness from the brine. Just falling apart. Oh man, so good. Bite through skin. I mean, absolutely. Couldn't even tell the difference between the skin and the meat. Most underrated part of the turkey. Got a nice little piece of white meat. Skin on. Looks juicy. Let's see how this one turned out. Bite through skin. The smokiness. I don't know if it's coming through on camera. We even got a little bit of a smoke ring. Yeah, don't throw that away, guys. We call that gravy. Not really, but my kind of gravy. It's a hell of a dipping sauce. Is it a little work? Absolutely. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. It is definitely a little bit of work. But like I said, if you only cook it a couple of times per year, why skimp out? Go all out. Make sure you do all the things. All the things that I just gave you in this video. I appreciate you watching. The best way that you can help Delmarva Backyard, if that's what you want to do, you enjoyed this video, you appreciate the information, share the video with someone who will watch the video. It's the best way to help us grow and reach more people. Also want to throw it out there, if you are into photography and like maybe the gear I use to help produce Delmarva Backyard, go check out my other YouTube channel. It's under my name, Mike Willie. All kinds of gear, hiking, overlanding, all kinds of stuff like that. Go check that out. I think I'll have a link for that down in the description as well. That's it, my friends. I hope you and all your family have a wonderful holiday season with some absolutely amazing turkey.